What's up, everybody? It's that time again. NGNWR coming at you, otherwise known as No Gimmicks Needed Radio, No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling Radio. Someday I'll get it right. Got a really awesome show coming up. Really cool things going on. Gonna get into that. Welcome to the show. All right. Hey, welcome everyone. NGNWR on the air here with your excellent host, The Brand. Here talk some exciting wrestling action, news, all kinds of different stuff going on here. Second edition right now, which is pretty exciting. You know, now it's kind of becoming a regular thing, which is really cool. It's very exciting to me to, be able to throw the last episode out there last week and get, a pretty warm response. I didn't put it too out there, didn't, draw too much attention to it. But the little bit that has come back has been awesome. Going to definitely push these next few episodes a lot harder, especially this one, because exciting things are happening. Like I mentioned last week, I was hoping to get, a couple of my old co-hosts back on the show, Chris Thomas, Rhode Island Jack, and that is in the works. Of course, I did, get very much surprised that I would be joined here today by the one and only wonderful Zack who's great wrestler and all around stand up guy. Just work indie worker throughout the Northwest, and had the pleasure to work with him in some capacity in the past, and gonna have him here as well on the show with me, which is awesome. As often as possible, we went over some stuff. Went over the Battleground PPV, also some of Monday Night Raw, which was great. I'll go ahead and get to that a little bit later here. Before we do get to that, though, I do want to just kind of take a real quick second here to rant a little bit personally about something that we didn't get to talk about. With this being a wrestling show, of course, we cover all the major events that happen, whether it be special events or pay-per-views or, the TV shows or what have you. So one of those things, of course, that's out there right now currently, if you're watching the product, of course, is WWE's Tough Enough, which is, basically a reality show. If you don't know what it is, you're probably not even listening to this, but, just to give you, just kind of an idea, it's their wrestling reality show based off of the whole idea that you're going to go through this competition to get a WWE contract, to be a wrestler. They're going to pick one guy and one girl to give $250,000 to be under contract for a year. It's something they've done, a few times in the past. It's an idea that's been resurrected. In this new form, I'm just going to kind of put my opinion out there on this really quick. Definitely overall, just judging by the format, should not be a fan of this show. Okay? I really wanted, even after the first time I watched it, did not want to like it at all. Didn't really like the way it was set up initially, with it being like, it's like it's part reality show and it's part like reality TV game show. Something along the lines of, uh, this shows how dated I am, something along the lines of, what's like on, a competition, like TV show with like a household, but also have that like live competition aspect, like of something as like an American Idol or something like that. So, but it is different. It's kind of, but it does make for an awkward kind of television show. I think at moments I did not want to like the show. I have found myself being just drawn to the show and glued to the show and wanting to see it, every week. See what transpires. For some reason, I have no idea why. I'm just, I want to hate the show, but I've just been sucked in by it. And I don't know, that might have all changed this week. If anyone has been following that, there's this guy, on the show, this guy named Patrick, who was my favorite to actually win the contract. Of course, his whole angle throughout the whole show has been that he's the only guy that's actually a fan and actually respects the business and actually wants to be a wrestler. And maybe I'm wrong on this, but just based off of that, that's the guy that I wanted to see uh, win the thing. Honestly, just judging by the way I've heard him talking about the business, I don't think it's a bunch of BS. I think the guy's for real, and so he gets eliminated this week. Mick Foley makes some mention on his one of his social media accounts, saying that he's not going to watch the show anymore. Definitely takes some interest out of it for me, for sure. I don't think I'm going to go to the extreme of, I'm not going to watch the show anymore, but I just want to go on record and say, for all you people that are watching Tough Enough, Patrick was my pick, and I'm definitely disappointed that he's not in the mix anymore. Something that's kind of a bum deal to me, but we'll see where it goes from there. Now my favorites as far as the guys that are left go, obviously Tanner has a lot going for him with him being the most physical guy, and it's going to be tough, between Tanner and that Mata and the other guy. I think his name is Joe or whatever. The big the guy that does the Chewbacca thing all the time. But anyway, so definitely, of course, going to keep an eye on that. Just kind of wanted to throw that out there while we're opening things up here. Like I mentioned, I am going to be joined by my guest here momentarily. We're going to throw to that, me and wonderful Zack Winters. Hashing out this last week in major events that transpired in the WWE world, besides Tough Enough, like I just covered. And what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and throw us to a little quick break here real quick. And we'll be right back here on NGNWR. Like All right, welcome back. It's time to run over some of the newsroom items here on the show, and it's going to be really, really awesome because I actually finally have someone joining me here. Not just a regular Joe Schmo either. Got wonderful Zack Winters on the line, pro wrestler, wrestled throughout the Northwest, West Coast, on the indie scene, everywhere. Welcome to the show, guy. How things going?
Pretty amazing. I've just got done hooking up with BCW at NWA affiliate, and I've been making my waves down there, and of course with Power Pit Pro Wrestling, a couple places up in Washington, trying to get back into the wrestling scene in California. I took a step back for about a year or two from wrestling, doing and pretty much just doing it like a month, once a month. Now I'm getting back into a full time.
Nice. Yeah, that's the thing that I want to definitely, maybe we can visit, on a later episode. Definitely want to talk a lot on this show about kind of what's going on around the Northwest, because the indie scene needs help, all across the country. The Northwest, especially, it's one of those things used to be really, really strong out here, and there's some promotions, trying to bring it back. You definitely got to support them. Places like BCW, Power Pit, so forth. So, we'll definitely delve into that, maybe in the future, kind of talk about the state of all of what's going on. But of course,
you want brutal honesty. I'm the right guy to come to. You know that,
right? Yeah, exactly. No filters whatsoever. I might have to have my hand on the censor button from the time to time, but
Get that 5-second delay on.
Right. That's what we love about you. So that's great. That's why we got you here. And of course, being a worker, pretty much, you got to be a fan. At some point in time in your life, a fan. Even if you're not currently following it, of course.
Well, that's the thing that kind of pisses me off about a lot of guys is that they think that now that they're in the business, they have to stop watching the big guys like WWE and ROH and TNA and stuff like that. And I don't give a crap. I was a fan before I started. I'll still be a fan. I'll still watch it. I'll still mark out.
Right.
Call me what you will.
Right, exactly. And there's the product goes through its ups and downs, but you always follow it if you're a true fan, if you truly got it in you.
Yeah. And besides in-ring work, there's tape study, and I'm sorry, nobody, as much as a lot of people want to cling to it, nobody wants to see what fans these days don't want to see what wrestling was in the 1980s with 20-minute shin locks and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
You got to keep yourself up to the times. If you're an old school trained wrestler, more power to you, but you got to keep up with what's making the crowd pop.
Oh, absolutely. There's definitely a balance, I think, to that, and it's all about entertaining the fans is what it really comes down to, and it's like what's entertaining them nowadays. I think it's a definitely there's a lot of storytelling to be lacked, but at the same time, you got to have that good work rate in there too, because it's just it all adds up. It's like a cake, layers of a cake, and
exactly.
But
what the story that really clicked for me was, and of course it clicked like this for me, was Raven discussing ring psychology, and he compared it to masturbation.
Right.
Where when you're jacking off, you got to get up, and then cool down, and get up, and then cool down, and then get up, and then get yourself this big, massive nut. Otherwise, you just hammer through it, and then there's a little nut that, you're like, whatever. I'll be jerking it off in a couple minutes anyway. What you want is this big, massive, just nut.
That is poetic in of itself, right there. Awesome. Well, just the meat of the business here. Of course, gonna cover everything like I mentioned, but WWE, of course, got some great things going on currently. In my opinion, got some things going for them. There's a lot of things that that I would change personally, and I'm sure you would change too. We'll get to all that. It was a big week in their world because there was the Payback pay-per-view here. It almost seems like it was old news, but it was only 4 or 5 days ago. Anyway, pay-per-view. And
it was Payback?
Battleground, I'm sorry. Did I say Payback?
Okay. Yeah, that made... You threw me off, so I was looking at the wrong notes.
I hate all these new pay-per-view names. I don't know if I talked about that in the past.
Can we even call them pay-per-views anymore? Because
right,
you got the network. You're not paying to view it anymore. They should just be called events.
Right. It's so weird though, getting used to saying that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though it's a shorter word and it's easier to say, it's like yeah, I'm surprised Vince isn't more of a Nazi about that. Because he has certain things he wants called.
My bet is that there's like some tech guy in his ear who's got to be like, hey, we gotta pump out these special events because you gotta have the incentive to buy the network. Otherwise, they're not getting Raw or SmackDown weekly.
Well, and that's what's funny is like whenever you see an ad for the network or they send something to like an email or something like that, that's part of the selling point. It'll actually say get all 12 WWE pay-per-view events, and it's like, okay, you know what I mean? It's like that doesn't really equivalent.
And really, I only watch I watch a lot of the older stuff, and then I watch like the only reason I watched Battlegrounds because I heard Taker was there, and I'm a huge Taker mark. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely like going through all the. I wish they would upload more older stuff instead of focusing on all this original content. It's starting to kind of piss me off about that, but
some of the original content's good. The Swerve is pretty good.
yeah, no, I've caught at least an episode or two of that.
They need to bring back Legends of Wrestling Roundtable. That's what they need to do.
There you go. Yeah, that's dating back to the.
Just because I like to watch everybody have you watched that show?
Oh yeah.
Watch through it all again, and then in almost every episode, Michael Hayes talks about smoking pot or doing some sort of drugs, while everybody else is sitting around looking uncomfortable because they don't want to comment on it and get in trouble by Vince. And Michael Hayes does not give a damn. He's like, oh yeah, I had pot in my car and was under the influence or driving through the state.
I went down to see my baby. She was working real late. I thought I could surprise her, but I'm always behind the eight. She was pouring highball 7 as I looked across the room. She was giving out a number. She played me for a fool. Gonna shake the foundation. Everybody make a sound. Shake the foundation. Gonna shake it to the ground. Shake it to the ground. I went down to see a doctor for this pain down in my chest. An empty, broken feeling. She made my heart a mess. Well, he said that he could help me, but I had to make a change. He said, put down all your sorrow, then you get back up again, then shake the foundation. Everybody make a sound. Shake the foundation. We're gonna shake it to the ground. Shake it to the ground now. I wrote a letter to the governor, but he was putting on a show. Just a kissing on the baby. He'll never tell you no. Oh no. You can build yourself a castle with walls of solid stone, but it'll never do you no good if there ain't nobody home. Ain't nobody home. Just shake the foundation. Everybody make a sound. Shake the foundation. We're gonna shake it to the ground. Shake it to the ground now. Shake the foundation. Everybody make a sound. Shake the foundation. We're gonna shake it to the ground. Shake it to the ground now. Shake the foundation. Shake the foundation. Shake the foundation.
All right, we are back on NGNWR. I want to say something here, just kind of in transition before we get to the next part of mine and Zack Winter's talk. I do want to apologize for the audio issues. For some reason, I'm an idiot and was talking too close to the phone or something, having some kind of issue with how it recorded and played back, because when I am talking, it's just uh, clipping just off the charts. Clipping. If you don't know, it's just when something's way too loud in the volume, you can't even hear it, just because it's just like at a frequency that just like you're not supposed to hear because it's just too loud or something like that. So I do apologize for parts of this thing being rough. It kind of sounds like I'm a demon in parts of it. But anyway, we'll go ahead and keep it rolling here on NGNWR. Now me and Zack, are going to get down to the meat of the situation. What our whole purpose of doing this thing. What WWE did this last week with Battleground and so forth. So let's go ahead and get you to it.
So I guess we won't even
Um,
really
I
talk.
hate that. It seems like they're kind of like don't know what to do with Barrett anymore.
Oh, absolutely.
Because at first they didn't know what to do with him, and then he was just like, because like he was a legit bare-fisted fighter.
Mhm.
And then they were like, okay, we'll just say he was a bare-fisted fighter, and they did nothing with it. And then he had the bad news bearer gimmick, and that worked. And now, from what I could see, they kind of dropped it.
Well, he changes gimmicks every 6 or 8 weeks.
Well, that's what happens with a lot of the new guys. That's another thing that pisses me off is that I liked when Damian Sandow was that no nonsense. He'd come out in like a fucking bathrobe.
Right.
No entrance music, just with a spotlight following him, and he'd talk about how stupid pro wrestling's gotten lately.
Right.
I love that.
Right. Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious because he'd walk out, he'd hold the microphone like a wine cup.
Right. Anywho, yeah, they did. I guess Barrett went over. So at least, at least he's still getting wins, even though he's lost. And
it was pretty good. It's just it's the good to get the crowd riled up, because I don't know why the hell they've wasted R-Truth so bad. Is because he's a good talent. He's entertaining as hell.
oh yeah, and that's the thing. And he doesn't seem like the guy but it seems like he's happy just being like that. First match guy. Kind of a joke character. He's long since accepted his fate. And that's really unfortunate for a lot of the guys. You can just tell that they've just accepted that it's just not getting any better,
Because the only time that The Miz was entertaining to me is when he teamed with R-Truth and they're doing like the conspiracy theory shit.
Right.
I can't remember how that went. But it was like, it's because the higher powers are keeping us down and shit, and they'd have security escort them out of the buildings and shit.
Right. Yeah, no, and that's, the Miz.
Did I make that up, or did that happen?
I
I distinctly remember that being like a fart in a pan kind of thing, where they were talking about how they were getting held down, and then it was almost like when they'd interfere in matches that had nothing to do with them, and they get escorted out by security. I think they got arrested once.
Yeah, because for a while there, they were like the upper mid card.
Yeah.
For at least a little bit, and then of course Miz had that little title run, and it flopped, and he's been down there, ever since.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then they move on to the pay-per-view, Orton and Sheamus, which, I mentioned that I didn't know anything really about the build for this match last week. It actually ended up being, okay. Good little opener, too. At least, Orton knows how to have, his standard Orton match.
Yeah, that's pretty much all it is. It's just I've trained my body to whenever Sheamus is on the TV, it actively, like, I got to take a bathroom break.
Right.
And incidentally, this was the first match. I don't, like, me being Irish nationality, I feel like I should like Sheamus, but I just don't. He's not interesting. He's not entertaining to me. He's like that little, the brown paper. You know when you order things from Amazon and the boxes come with the brown paper that's just there. It's not really good for anything. It's just there. You can't even burn this shit.
Right.
It's just as soon as you touch it to a flame, it just goes up. And that's Sheamus.
Right.
He's just there.
That's awesome.
And is it like, yeah, and he's a Money in the Bank winner now, which, you know, hopefully goes after the U.S. title or something. Yeah. That's why I was hot on the gimmick, and now it's just like, I don't know if they're trying to make him the Undertaker or what. It's like the lights go up and the lights go out, and then he appears somewhere.
Right. He's the only other guy that they've given like these mystical powers to.
Yeah.
So that's
which I don't really understand because isn't he just some crazy backwoods cult leader? And then like kayfabe wise, Undertaker's like this big undead zombie or whatever the hell he is.
Yeah. So why do they share that? Yeah. It's kind of, when you really sit down and dissect it, it is pretty silly.
When you sit there and look at it, it's fucking stupid. Like the Undertaker was a mystic warlock for a while. I don't know. It's been weird.
Right. But this feud's going, and you know, apparently has, you know, at least a future through SummerSlam, because there wasn't, you know, of course, the cleanest of finishes, the whole Luke Harper thing, and apparently what the rumors are is that somehow Sting's going to be involved in this feud, apparently, according to Dave.
That'd be cool. I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, Dave Meltzer is reporting it, apparently. So,
interesting. That I don't really like that idea though, because it almost buries Wyatt. Because Sting lost at WrestleMania, he's going to need a win to go on to something at WrestleMania, because that's probably when he'll show up again.
Right.
And then Wyatt also needs a win because he needs to establish himself a little bit more legitimately.
Bray Wyatt always gets the short end of the stick. You know, they put him in these big matches to lose.
Yeah.
You know, and and after a while, it's going to be really, it's already damaged him a lot, I think.
Yeah.
And it's going to keep it worse.
The whole feud with Cena was, while it was entertaining, it wasn't good for him, because did he win one?
Nope.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the thing. Yeah. Yeah, you know, speaking of Cena, at least he let Owens win one. You know, because that was the next match. You know, Cena goes over Owens, which of course, you know, obviously the match of the night. You know, I don't think anyone doubted that it wouldn't be.
No, yeah, Owens has carried Cena through the best matches of his career.
Right. Yeah.
And, you know, I've really taken a liking to Owens. Like I liked him back when he was Kevin Steen.
Right.
But this, you know, the fact that he's able to carry John Cena through all these good matches, and thank God they finally, that stupid, what the hell is it? It's a stupid, like, bounce off the ropes stunner that Cena does. They finally Owens just batted it away. I was like, I'm not fucking taking that.
Right, yeah.
God, that move was so stupid.
Yeah, you know, they've had some pretty good matches, you know, these last three events, you know, as they would be. So, you know, and this one was great as well.
Yeah, I feel they should have put the U.S. title on Owens, it doesn't really make sense storyline wise.
Right.
Because when I first paid attention to it, didn't fucking Owens just powerbomb the shit out of John Cena, stomp on the belt, take out his fat little wiener and pee all over it, like on live TV.
Right. Yeah.
Like that was the whole basis of the feud. I'm the NXT champion. Why the hell do I want to be what? I'm better than the U.S. champion.
Right. Yeah. No, it was just it's been a great feud. You know, the promos that Owens has cut. You know, along with the matches. You know, I would have liked to have seen him go more over, but you know, but they have to make Cena look strong, of course, because well, you know, if we get to Raw here, something big, you know, pretty big happened with Cena, which, you know, they're planting the seeds, you know, for what looks like to be him and Rollins at SummerSlam. So I think that's kind of the idea with that.
Do you think Triple H would let Cena break fucking Ric Flair's world title record? Because he's tied right now, isn't he?
I believe so. He's either I think he's on 15.
Okay.
So if he gets the next one, he'll be tied.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. Definitely have to look that up.
Rant coming. The rant, put up the rant warning because the rant's coming. That is just disgusting because Ric Flair won it 16 times back when it meant something. When you held the title for 16 times, that actually meant something. Some of John Cena's title reigns last a fucking week. Are you kidding me?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally agree. That's just like you know, and Triple H is pretty up there too. I don't know, he's got around like 10 or something like that, of course. But Cena, I mean, my God, 15 title reigns on about a 12-year, 13-year span.
Yeah.
But he actually first won. He first won the world title in 2005. So that's actually 10 years. In a 10-year span, you won the title 15 times. That's unreal.
And then Ric Flair wins it 16 times in a 30-plus year career because he held on to that belt for years at a time.
Right.
Back when it meant something. You know, the phrase "to be the man, you got to beat the man" didn't just come out because it looked cute on a catchphrase. Ric Flair was the man at the time.
Oh, absolutely. And there's no denying that, and that's the thing. That's a whole nother, like you said, a whole nother rant or
yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
However you want to put it, you know what I mean? Like the devaluation of titles has been pretty ridiculous. That's why I like when the guys, you know, have the long reigns.
Yeah.
You know, when Punk did it a couple of years ago, I thought that was the best thing. There needs to be more of that.
That was good.
Holding it for a year, or a couple of years plus.
Yeah, when you tuned in to see if this would be the guy to take it off of him.
Right.
And it meant something. The title meant something.
Right. And that kind of brings us to the main event. You know, the championship title. I don't know how to feel about this, you know, and I really want to get your opinion on it because, you know, Rollins has had not a really long reign, of course. We're on like about 4 or 5 months, give or take here. But they've had him pretty much just like every cheap way to keep the title possible.
Yeah. This one was a weird one because they wanted, like, I felt that they wanted to add legitimacy to Seth Rollins, but at the same time, I knew they weren't going to let Brock Lesnar lose.
Right.
And also, they weren't going to let Brock Lesnar. I didn't think they were going to let Brock Lesnar win because they finally kind of smarten up to the idea maybe it's not a good idea to have this part-time guy be the champion. Really Brock Lesnar doesn't need to be the champion. Just him being there is an event, is the event match.
Oh, absolutely.
Like they centered a whole show in Japan around him being there. And then like I didn't know that they could air snuff films in Japan, but apparently when he just went out there and murdered Kofi Kingston.
Right, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, Brock, like you said, he is the event in of itself.
And then, what was it, a week or 2 weeks before the event, didn't he eat a car live on Raw?
Something like that, right?
Like he ate a car, almost decapitated a fan.
Yeah, I saw that. That was crazy. He sent some guy to the hospital.
Because he threw the guy threw a fucking car door into the crowd. What are you thinking, you moron?
Yeah, no, that's got to be one of the more all-time like that. You know, I will be surprised if there's not a lawsuit at some point down the road.
There probably will be.
Yeah.
Not even a lawsuit, just like Vince calling, hey, do you want free tickets to WrestleMania, VIP access?
Right, exactly. That's all you'd have to do. I'd sign off on it.
You almost killed me, but damn, I'll take it backstage. I'll just tug jobs with Sasha Banks, all that.
It's about equal to what my medical bills were, so, you're on. It all works out in the end. But yeah, Rollins has had a good little run, and of course, I totally called this on my little, one that I did last week, about Taker interfering in this match.
Oh, yes, you did.
Setting up Brock, and anyway, won't delve too much into that, but
I like how Taker actually looks healthy now.
Oh yeah.
For the past couple WrestleManias, he did not look good. He looked old. He's all skinny and he looks funky. And now he actually looks like the old Undertaker that I grew up watching. I actually kind of think it looks more like the American Badass version now. Now they got rid of that stupid mohawk.
Oh my gosh, yes.
He got rid of the stupid mohawk, and now he's big and thick again. He's got a little bit of beer belly.
Yeah.
He looks like the Undertaker again.
Yeah, and it's good to see him at a different time of year. Of course, this may be brief, but it's good to see him. And that was worth the price of admission alone. The Cena Owens match and getting to see the run in from Taker.
I didn't really pay attention to as soon as the Undertaker came on screen, my attention wavered, but I didn't see Seth Rollins in that ring.
Right. Yeah.
After that happened, and then I had this funny idea of what if somebody who was just now getting into wrestling and I want to see what this Battleground PPV is all about. This Brock Lesnar guy is pretty cool. Seth Rollins is pretty cool. Watch this match, and then suddenly they think that the Undertaker is Seth Rollins Super Saiyan form or some shit like that. That's Seth Rollins. That's his finisher move. Is he just turns into the Undertaker.
That is a very interesting spin on that, and that definitely, I could see where someone could get that construed, especially, if you're just watching the show, if you don't have a clue who the Undertaker is.
The lights go out, and then Seth Rollins just morphs, shoots up 3 feet, because then he's 4'11".
That's a great gimmick. Why hasn't anyone done that yet?
They've probably done it in
Japan. Right, yeah. True that.
Have you ever heard of the Time Splitters?
time splitters. You have to refresh me. It's a Japanese tag team.
It's a Japanese. Well, they're Americans. I can't. They're a couple old tech TNA guys. I can't remember their names because they're TNA.
Right.
Well, they kind of rip off the Back to the Future's idea, where it's all like one of them comes out in the orange vest and everything, and the pure like genius moment of it was one of the guys has a twin who hides out under the ring, and then I can't remember the spot exactly, but it was something akin to he whips his opponent into the corner. He's going to run in and then do some move. Well, his twin runs out, and it's supposed to be him from the future, saying, "No, don't pull this off. If you do it, he's going to give you a boot to the face. Do this move instead," and then runs back under the ring. And then there's like a flash of light, and he's just gone.
Wow.
Only in Japan.
Wow.
Crew in Arizona in 1975, a young man named Travis Walton had one of the most horrific experiences of his life. Late one night, he and his crew of buddies approached a light in the woods. Most of the men were scared by what they were seeing, but Travis was intrigued as he stepped beneath a large glowing ship. Then suddenly Travis was struck and lifted while the men tore away in fear, only to return shortly after, but it was too late. Travis was already gone. He disappeared for 5 days. After an extensive search for Travis, the police began to question and accuse the men of killing him, but they knew otherwise. They knew exactly what happened to Travis Walton that night. They saw the ship that took their brother into the sky. Their stories were corroborated by several lie detector tests administered by local authorities. But it wasn't until Travis called one of them late one night from a payphone that his story could be told. And when he looks to the sky, the fear fills his eyes. There's a fire in the sky. Yeah, Travis Walton is back. Conducted experiments on Travis, moving with cold, calculated indifference. They were soulless and expressionless and far more advanced than us. And to this day, Travis awakens terrified and shaking, remembering what they did to him. And when night falls, he waits as if they might come back to finish the job. And when he looks to the sky, the fear fills his eyes. There's a fire in the sky.
All right, back here once again. The brand, we're taking it home here. Like I said, I do apologize on my end. Zack sounds great. I sound like, I don't know even what. Now I'm losing my voice here because I've done so much talking today. From this point to this much out. Smoked too many cigarettes. It's getting late. And trying to edit this all together. This is definitely an uncensored version of the show. You know what I mean? So definitely listen to it on headphones, kids, where your parents can't hear what's going on, can't get you in trouble if you're listening. And, of course, the adults are out there, you know what's up. Anyway, going to go ahead and close her out. We got a little bit more with me and Zack Winters, and I'll be back to wrap things up with you right after that. So let's go ahead and go to the conclusion of the let's go ahead and go to the conclusion with me and Zack Winters. Gosh, my voice. I'm going to kick my own ass.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother deal as well. I've thought long long about, that kind of thing, that delicate balance which is in the WWE. And like the Cena Owens match is a perfect balance of that. They let him get the first one, but ultimately, he's Super Cena, and he gets
which, in retrospect, I'm kind of like just flat out amazed that they've been pushing Owens this hard.
right.
Because he looks pregnant.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I know I don't have much room to talk. I'm a little softer on the midsection too, but at least I'm not like obese.
Oh yeah. No, it's definitely a strange thing to see a guy like him in that position in WWE. I would have never thought it in a million years.
Because he looks like an indie guy. He doesn't look like a wrestler. He looks like every fat, beer-swilling indie guy that,
right.
I've wrestled on shows with, and they'll take $10 and a handshake and a hot dog as a PO.
Right. Yeah, no, that's the thing. It is definitely created a very interesting dynamic. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes from here. Of course, they put him in the main event on Raw the next night. Him and Sheamus and Rusev against Cena, Orton, and Cesaro. They did some pretty entertaining spots. But the faces went over, so that doesn't really bode well for these three guys who should be like, three of their top heels, basically.
Well, except for Sheamus, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But it's like as soon as I saw Rusev, I knew they were going to stick him with some stupid gimmick. As soon as him and Cena are over, because you can't get past, he's a big mad Russian guy.
Right.
We're back in the 80s now. We hate the Russians, apparently.
Well, here's the thing, and that would have been fine. You know what I mean? Like, let a guy just be, a character and go with it. They do this thing where, these guys, are working on their gimmicks. They're perfecting them for, a good, 6 months to a year or so. And then they think, oh, okay, we got to change it up. And this guy, he's got to show more diversity. You got to be funny now. Now you got to be a funny character. They got all these TV writers and stuff, driving the ship as far as like these undercard guys go. They're writing all the bits But Brock and Taker had a big brawl. I like the way they did this whole thing, having the locker room, separating them, and just it was
like the whole locker room.
Right, yeah.
That was genius. And then that little exchange, like that legit gave me goosebumps where Brock just yells out, "I'm going to kill you," and Taker goes, "You're going to have to."
Right. Yeah.
That was so good.
Yeah. It was just very well done. Definitely sets the tone for what's going to be, a great SummerSlam event. I think it's SummerSlam's looking pretty legit, top and bottom. It'll be interesting to see where they take it from here, of course, if either one of them actually shows up on TV between now and then.
They'll probably take turns.
So,
they'll probably take turns, and then Brock will be via satellite or some shit.
Right, yeah. Of course, with them being, both in the position that they're in and trying to build the match around what they have. I think that's basically why they had to do something like this. Just make it to where it's, it's so volatile, they can't be, in the same place at the same time until SummerSlam, because it jeopardizes Triple H's big main event, which is something that, we've seen a time or two, and it's a great angle to work, of course, and they played it out well.
Yeah.
So no complaints there. That's pretty much, there's, there was some other stuff. Of course, they continued the Reigns and Wyatt feud. Like we mentioned before, that's still, apparently going strong into SummerSlam.
See, I didn't. I tuned in and out of Raw.
Yeah.
And did Wyatt finally make that, like, the big the what are those called, the friendship collages? That's the one pull away I get from this gimmick. Is the one time Reigns walks into his locker room and there's pictures of himself all over. You lost your chance, and because I just got the mental image of Bray Wyatt giggling like a schoolgirl and putting those pictures up.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm not.
And then he's like goes back to his little weird hut in the woods and he's making like this. What the hell are those collages called? Where they're like the wish collages or something?
Right. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Dream collages.
Dream collages. You put up what you want, and then there's like he has pictures of Roman Reigns being hung or something.
Want to thank you for being here, man. It's been great. We'll definitely keep in touch throughout the weeks and talk about all kinds of crazy stuff, not just WWE, but the indies, other promotions, or just, if we want to get something, off the old chest, definitely going to be here. Be a great sounding board for you to do that. Definitely want to thank you for joining me. And
you're just wanting to make people mad at me now.
Right.
You want wonderful Zack Winters to come on your show and vent?
It's gonna be 1 week. We're gonna have it's gonna be the wonderful Zack Winters venting shoot
pour
hour.
gasoline all over those bridges and just piss on the ashes.
Right. Well, like I said, that's what we want you here for. We got to keep things interesting, keep the entertainment rolling, and that's awesome. We'll go ahead and we'll catch up with you next time.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
All right, man.
All right. Well, that about does it. That about wraps her up, as her feller says. What did we learn today? Well, me and Zack Winters learned that you pretty much own a podcast, you know what I mean? I think it definitely went well. Had an awesome time talking with Zack about some good old WWE stuff. Hopefully he sticks around and we hear some more good things, some good stories, some good opinions. Definitely cool. Hopefully my old co-host will be back with me here the next couple weeks. Anything's possible, folks. That's what I'm talking about here. Any dang thing is possible. You put your mind to it. Just getting started. Just getting started with this whole thing. This is episode 2. Who knows what's going to happen from here. More special guests. That's all going to be fun. We'll do some special segments. More laughs. More good times. No gimmicks needed. Wrestling Radio. Once again, NGNWR. That's the name that I'm running with here. No gimmicks needed. Wrestling Radio. Pretty much sums it all up, Just going to bring it to you and try to give you some entertaining stuff and informative stuff. All the stuff that you want to hear. And that's what it's all about as far as I'm concerned, Gonna get into so many things here within the next few weeks. I'm excited about it. So as I wrap this up here, I just want to say thank you for listening. Anybody who is listening, recommend it to your friends. share it on your wall. Do whatever you got to do. If you know anybody that's into wrestling, it's a cool show to listen to. Also want to give a shout out to my buddy Brock Myers from Wrestling Nerd Radio. Check that page out. Maybe we'll have a little interstational thing go on or something. I want to give a shout out to everybody listening. Want to thank you very much. Check us out. Listen and share, my friends. This is the Brand signing off. And I'll see you in the front row. Till next time, NGNWR. We're going to be out.